Hello, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. I am Naveen Ganglani reporting for Raptor. We are live here inside the Mall of Asia Arena, where we are about half an hour away from the second match of the season with the UP Fighting Maroons and the De La Salle Green Archers in UAAP Season 85. Now, it's important to take note that entering this UAAP season, both LaSalle and UP were considered the favorites to win the UAAP championship given their impressive performances in the preseason. However, now that we're close to the end of the elimination round, it's fair to say that both teams have gone their separate ways to some degree. UP currently has a 10-1 record. They are two wins away from securing the number one seed in the UAAP Season 85 men's basketball standings. If they win today and they win their next matchup on Wednesday, UP will be number one and will have the number one seed secured by the time they face Ateneo next Saturday. LaSalle, on the other hand, they have a 4-6 record. They are currently in survival mode to make the UAAP Final Four. Now, just recently, the Adamson Soaring Falcons defeated the UE Red Warriors to improve their record to 5-6. LaSalle beat Adamson last Wednesday when both teams played each other at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. However, LaSalle will have to likely win this game. Yes, they will have to win this game to keep pace with Adamson. Also, because LaSalle has a tougher schedule than the Soaring Falcons the rest of the way. Now, it's not going to be easy. UP has proven this season that they are very difficult to defeat. Their only loss this season was a game when JD Kagulangan, their top point guard, didn't play, and Coach Golden Monteverde wasn't in the sideline. So when UP is complete, they've been unbeatable. LaSalle, on the other hand, has a tall mountain to climb in front of them, especially considering that they might not be complete. More on that later. Let's take a look at this rivalry, UP versus LaSalle, because this has been a matchup that has gone a little one-sided over the last few years. In their last 9 matchups, the Fighting Maroons have defeated the Green Archers 8 out of 9 times. That's dating back to the 2018 UAAP season. If you go back to the 2017 season, the UP is 9-2 in their last 11 games against DLSU. That includes the Final Four matchup that these two teams played just a few months ago. However, LaSalle, every time they play UP, they give it a challenge. They just haven't been able to close out the Fighting Maroons. And UP has their number in close games, like UP has the number of almost every UAP team in close games this season. In their last matchup, here were some key numbers. UP gave up 29 turnovers but shot 40% from the field. DLSU, on the other hand, shot just 32% from the field, which is why they weren't able to exactly take advantage of all the turnovers that UP provided them. LaSalle led for most of the game in the first half, was on top in the third quarter, led for a bit in the fourth quarter until UP went on their patented late game run to secure the victory. And ever since that game, it's gone a little downhill for the Green Archers, and it's been an upward trend for the Fighting Maroons. In that last game, also remember this is the first game of the first day of the UAAP season, first game for both teams. Carl Tamayo finished with 18 points and 19 rebounds to lead the Fighting Maroons in that contest. The Green Archers, on the other hand, were led by Deshaun Winston, who had 27 points and 12 of 18 shooting. Here's where it gets tricky for LaSalle. Winston hasn't played the last few games. He was absent dating back even before the recent almost 2 week break that all UAP teams had for the FIBO window. But even after that break, Winston hasn't completely healed from his calf injury that's kept him sidelined in LaSalle's first 3 games of the second round. Now, Winston and Raven Cortez, LaSalle's promising young big man, are both game time decisions. Winston is nursing a calf injury, while Cortez is nursing an ankle injury. Both players are going to give it a try, but based from what I've heard so far in the arena today, it seems like Winston might not play. Now, that's not 100% confirmed yet, but the feeling around the environment is that Winston will not be in action, while there's a stronger chance that Cortez might play, but that's not confirmed as well. For UP, on the other hand, Terence Porteo, who missed last game due to an ankle injury, is expected not to see action today too and might be out for a few more days. Nonetheless, UP is deep. They have Kagulangan back. They have young players on the rise. So even with Portea's absence, the Fighting Maroons can feel more comfortable with their depth compared to the Green Archers, given how important Winston has played for them this season. Let's take a look at some key statistics of both teams in UAAP season 85. UP leads the league in points scored, field goal percentage, and free throw percentage. LaSalle, on the other hand, leads the league in assists, steals, and blocks. Here are the key stats to look out for both teams. UP leads the league in turnovers. They give up the ball more times than any other team in the UAAP, while LaSalle leads the league in forcing turnovers. So, will UP's weakness come back to haunt them? But the better question is, will LaSalle be able to take advantage of these turnovers? Because even if LaSalle has forced their opponents to turn the ball over a lot this season, they haven't exactly made the most out of it. And part of that is because of their poor shooting from the field. LaSalle has had trouble shooting the ball, spreading the floor, especially from 3 point range the last few games. That's why it's quite ironic that they won the last game by a CJ Austria game winner from downtown. But taking a look at the whole season, 3 point shooting has been one of LaSalle's Achilles heels. Key matchups to look out for this game: the front court battle. Can Tamayo produce the numbers that he's produced over the last few games, particularly in that last game against LaSalle? Can Michael Phillips, Bright Nwanko, and even Kevin Kimbao limit UP's front line? Take note, UP is better now than they were when these two teams last faced each other. Henry Galinato at the start of the season was still getting used to the UAAP style of play, but over the last few games, he's looked more comfortable. He looks like he knows his role. And UP has such a deep collection of big men that LaSalle will have to deal with. You have Tamayo, you have Malik Diu, you have Henry Galinato off the bench, you even have Xavier Lucero. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He can play the front court position, he can also play in the wing. So LaSalle has their hands full. Evanelli is going to have a lot of responsibilities this game because he will also have to deal with the returning JD Cabilang, who is a good defender and a great playmaker, and all the depth that UP has. What's the energy like for both teams? Now, with the Fighting Maroons, the atmosphere, the positivity, the confidence, the optimism is probably the highest it's been all season. UP is playing so well, the pieces are starting to fit with each other, the chemistry on the court is great. They've had multiple best players of the games, which means that it's not only one or two guys usually getting the job done for the Fighting Maroons. The wealth is being spread, the ball is being shared. It doesn't matter who's contributing. What matters to them is that they get the job done. And that sometimes means feeding the hot hand. That could even be Cyril Gonzalez, who's having his breakout season for the Fighting Maroons this season. It could be JD Cavilangan. He might have his best game of the season today. It might be Zave. It might be Carl. It might even be Harold Alarcon, who's a defensive stopper and also a floor spreader off the bench. So there are a lot of players to watch out for. Now, DLSU entering the second round, they weren't exactly, let's say, in the best of optimist, or they weren't exactly optimistic. A season that they expected would be great has gone downward. They're now surviving to make the Final Four, but that victory against Adamson a few days ago has brought out some positive energy and some optimism for the team that's looking for momentum, for some anything that could get push them forward and push them in a better place for a better chance in making the Final Four. But now they're facing a UP team, which is arguably the best team in the league and probably the odds-on favorite to win the UAP championship this season. So, will LaSalle's current momentum be short-lived, or will they ride that wave towards pulling what would be their biggest victory of the season? We will find out over the next few hours, and we will catch you all after the game for our post-game report. For Rappler, this is Naveen Ganglan.